Uh, Welcome to the Lionheart Conversations podcast. We're having real conversations with real people telling their real stories. Today I'm with Jordan Albany from Fighting Through 28. It's a boxing gym in Southend-on-Sea. So we're going to be listening to all his backstory and a little bit about the gym too. So welcome to the podcast, Jordan.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's amazing for you to allow me to come and do this with you. And actually, it was really through meeting you and other people like you that have sort of inspired me to want to do the podcast, which is really cool.
Which is incredible. When you obviously come to us and you said that you're looking to do that, and it correlated with this very room, it was also a moment, like you said on the video beforehand, of serendipity. I like that as well. I was like, yeah, a moment of luck, a moment of chance.
Yeah.
And honoured that you've asked me to be the first guest, and Rich as the guest on the following Sunday as well. So yeah. Thank you.
No, it's really cool, mate. So obviously we know each other because a few months ago I was part of the camp that trained for 8 weeks and had a fight at the end, which is really amazing to come. And obviously I thought we're going to go into very much the case of your story and everything that's led up to, bringing you into the gym and how that's quite happened. But I thought it'd be quite nice to give you a bit of my perspective of being involved in the gym and from what I've seen from being here and the amazing stuff that you've accomplished in here. So obviously I was here for 8 weeks, and the big thing for me that I found was that not just the quantity of people that come in through the doors, but how comfortable the people are that do come, because they don't just come to train necessarily, they come almost like an escape, where they can come and they feel so comfortable that they can just be themselves. There's no judgment. They are where they're at, and then they're just helped and supported, not just with the boxing, but everything around it. Correct. And I just find that really inspirational. I thought it was an amazing thing to be part of. And even with like the WhatsApp group, and you described the gym being a bit of a family, and it really is. I see it like that, and I can see how people feel like that because they don't always get that from their own family, and then to be able to come into a group and have that around them, that type of support is amazing. So was that always your intention from building the gym, that you wanted to do that, or is that just how it's naturally come about? Or?
So yes and no, because ultimately you don't know what lays in front of you. You can only set the foundations for it to build the way that we had the foresight and the vision for it to be. Did I expect it to be where it is now in only 10 months? No, I'd be lying and said if I did. But we did set out with the intention of saying, if we can build not just a boxing gym, a sanctuary, to utilise not only the training, but the community spirit that boxing gives you, and translate that and make it readily available for everyone, not just people that want to learn to box. And it's just gone from next level to next level to next level, and very, very proud of where it's got to now. And there's only so much more to come, because there's so many more people struggling, and I am that person that was struggling, and I still do. There's day-to-day basis where I still have to utilise what Fighting Through does for a community for myself, and the training and the community and that spirit that you get in here, as you say, the family, because some people don't have that. No. And having somewhere is escapism, as you say, but having a sanctuary where they can retreat to and not be judged for previous traumas, previous journeys, or bad decisions or stuff I've made along the way. We're all human. We make mistakes along the way. Yeah, it's how we pick ourselves up and go forward again. And me and Rich had a fundamental idea that boxing saved our life. Why can't that be readily available for everyone? Yeah. The majority of the people that have ventured into this building would have never walked into a boxing gym, ever. From previous experience myself of working in or going to other gyms, there is that, I suppose, stigma of you have to carry yourself with that fighter's mentality. You're stepping into the ring and there's competition and people are very competitive. There's ego, there's testosterone. And don't get me wrong, if you are competing and you're fighting, when we're in the fight camps, there is another level that has to be achieved. But we wanted to remove that stigma and make the training and the benefits, the mental health benefits, the recovery benefits available for everyone.
Had you had the experience of that community other gyms that you trained at before, or is this completely like a new concept in terms of that?
So it's a bit different because my journey with boxing started very young, and I was pulled out of that when I was very young, and then I didn't step back into a boxing gym until I thought my first fight was at 9, and then I didn't step back into a boxing gym again until I was 26.
Wow, that's a long time.
My journey in and out of gyms, I would poke my head in very briefly. I would train, like when I lived abroad in Cyprus, I trained in a Muay Thai gym over there and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It was I've never stuck at it long enough to feel that community vibe. And I trained with a number of other local gyms as well. And at the time when I came back into that environment, I wasn't very mentally well. So whether I felt receptive or not, a lot it was made up in my own head. I built these own walls, and like that self-doubt created avenues to me not feel accepted, you know, and whether that was how it was or how I made that feel through my own illusions.
We create our own stories.
Correct, yeah. So I created my own almost divide from that chance to really feel welcomed amongst other gyms as well. So, but I've still got relationships and friendships with people that I've trained at their other gyms, and coaches that I used to work with that I still have friendships and relationships with now. They recognised how unwell I was at the time, you know, and there was never nothing against me or anything like that, but my own paranoia and deluded mind at times created it very difficult for me.
Well, it makes it hard for the people around you because they don't necessarily understand.
Correct.
And
I wasn't openly telling everyone.
Nobody has the tools to cope with it particularly, so it makes it difficult.
Yeah, when this is, I suppose, what give birth to the idea of fighting through, because you should be able to talk. You don't just go to a gym, pack your stuff, and then go home.
Yeah.
Like, we've created a whole different environment where this is. People will turn up here an hour before the class.
Yeah.
And they will sit and they chill, have a tea and a coffee.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant was so different and noticeable from my perspective that I saw that. People just come and just feel comfortable to sit and eat their dinner in the gym and talk and chat. So it's just lovely to see. So, like I said, I don't want to go loads into the fighting through because you do a lot of stuff around that anyway, and lots of people know about that.
Yes.
But what? So, just before we go into sort of your backstory, what does the gym mean to you?
Without this gym, I suppose you can sum it up in a nutshell, because it's very quite simple. Without this gym, I would be dead. That's a fact. Like, I owe this gym, this community of people, my peers, my brothers and sisters, as we call each other in this place. I owe my life amongst my wife and my family. I owe my life to it because I have such a self-destructive nature when I'm not channeling that energy into something positive and productive or sporty. I've always been a sporty person, so I crave the endorphins that are released through the physical activity or a multitude of other things, or brain chemistry. There's avenues you could go down into it, but what it gives me makes me feel alive. And if I'm not doing this, that self-destructive behaviour turns on myself, and I then end up in mad addictions or mental health psychosis and many other different avenues of self-destructive behaviour, I suppose, is the best way of putting it across. And I'm no good to no one because I am an enemy to myself, whereas in here I can use that energy for good, and I can help others who are experience these similar symptoms or experience these similar stages of life. And I say I can help others. I can show people how I help myself. Ultimately, everyone has to do their own journey.
Role models are important because you have to be able to hold up someone to say, look, this is what I've done, and people can not follow in the same way, but they know it's possible.
It's still weird to hear someone say that because for me, my journey is still relatively new. So this journey, the start of fighting through, was the start of my journey. So I've been in the thick of it since the start of this. So it's peculiar for me to hear that, although I do.
But for people to grow with you and do it at the same time, it's also inspiring. You know, it's not like you're at the end of it and then telling people, you know, I've done this, and you're like 5 years on. You're in it already still, and inviting people within the gym to come on the journey with you. So
that's right. Yeah,
that's really powerful, man.
Well, in the trenches, this is what my whole life I've been in that mad side of life, and I'm equipped now to still stay in that place to help others. Not to carry on walking the same paths I was walking before, but to stand there and say, there's a better way. And there is a way out of this, because a lot of people don't see a way out of it.
No,
they don't. They continue working this cycle of the mental health, depression, and addictions, or whatever it may be. And it doesn't pick and choose. Anyone's susceptible to it.
Yeah.
Whether you're a wealthy business owner or where you're living on a street. Yeah. This mind can be your worst enemy, or it can be your best friend. It can be the best tool, or it can be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to reprogram that, and I've learned that myself over a period of years, and I incorporate that in my life. And this place was born out of that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like how you talk about when you channeling your energy, because you can channel it in a destructive way,
Correct.
Or you can do it in a positive way, and the positive way needs to be aligned with who you are and what you're doing.
That's right.
Otherwise, you sort of perhaps go off course. But.
Well, you've got to have. It's got to have an interest, especially for people like myself. I need to have an interest towards something, and then once I have that interest, and that keen, that love, it's all hard. I'm all in.
Yeah.
There ain't no all chips are down. It's
no
all or nothing.
Yeah.
So there ain't. But I'm like that with everything. It was like with my using, with my drinking, with my crazy ass stories. Like it's 100 mile an hour. There is no. It goes from neutral to fifth gear. There is no the jump in between. Now you're rising through the gears. So I suppose this is, and then I've surrounded myself with people of similar nature.
Yeah.
And not only have they now removed that chaotic energy from their life, they're now channeling it for good.
Yeah.
And lives are changing.
Yeah.
So there's almost a blueprint that's being built for people to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah, you are really building a blueprint. You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, so I came and saw you last week on Tuesday, and we set the room up just to make sure what it was going to look like,
how it was going to be.
And we got this coffee table, and I asked you if you had any flowers, and you had these flowers. They're on top of the cabinet, and you said these are your nan's flowers, right?
Yes.
I thought it'd be a nice place to start if we want to go back. So, what was the relationship with your nan? What was that like when you were a lot younger?
This Nan and Grandad in particular, so it's the only remnants I've got of them. Leonard Cooling and June Cooling. They were my, I suppose the best way, they were my safety net. They were my.
Is this your mum's parents or your dad's parents?
My mother's parents, yeah. So for me, when I was much younger, they passed away when I was my granddad first, and then followed by my nan. They were my safety net. They were the structure that I was missing from my childhood. The protection that I needed, the guidance, the discipline. Especially my granddad was in the RAF, so he was a very disciplined man. Towards his later years in life, it sort of dropped off with the discipline. He was comfortable at that stage. I was his grandson, so it's petered off, to say the least, from what he was when he was a younger man.
So it was quite hard on you. Is that what you mean?
No. Or he was a very hard man.
Yeah.
But it petered off.
I see.
Over the generations.
by
the time, and I mean, I'm the youngest of my brothers, and
they felt the brunt of it.
my mother and my uncle. He was a very stern man, like I say, but that's just the way they was. They were built different back then. That's just the generation of them. But this is. Yeah, looking at the flowers, it brings back joy, upset as well, but proud that they're sitting there right now, because that's the only thing I have as anything to correlate their memory.
Tangible,
They're with me every day. They're here every day. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing to have in here and to be present for this as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for.
It was cool that I said about flowers, and it's like, yeah, I've got flowers.
But they come. So my brother recently moved, and he had some stuff and some photographs and all stuff like that, and he was downsizing. So I brought them to here, and I helped him move, and they come with me. So they're now here, and they'll be ever present in here as well. Cool. So they won't be moving nowhere.
That's cool. So you grew up in Southend, or you?
No, I was born on Canvey Island, so the ambulance didn't make it quick enough. I was actually born at home. Grew up on Canvey Island as well for a short period of time. I would have added to about 13. No, a bit younger than that. To about 11, 12, 13, around them sort of ages. Then and then my journeys started. They were starting prior to that, but I was a young child. But my own personal journeys started from 12, 13, 14, sort of them sort of ages.
You said you had brothers, so were they looking after you at the time, or were they a little bit absent in your life, or were they getting into their own troubles as well at that time, or what? What happened at that age?
So I suppose how far you go back. So I was raised by my mother and my father, so they were together. Up until about, I think I was about 7. I couldn't be precise on ages. But I was raised in a party house. From all I can remember was the all weekend parties, the cocaine, the pills, all the debauchery that comes with it.
From your parents doing
my
this?
Parents,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So me and my brothers were raised in that environment. It wasn't unfamiliar to see piles of cocaine and pills and stuff like that, and just all weekend parties, police violence, all of that stuff that comes with it. Led to a separation. It led to a separation, and then it was kind of like, so my mother at that stage is an addict, so she still is now. We'll get to that a little bit further along the line, but she'd built up a massive habit at that stage, and an unsustainable habit once my father left, and just my mother and my older brothers, they felt the brunt of that first. She was a very psychotic woman, and it led up to them both being kicked out. Then she downsized, but I was only young. I was sort of 8, 9, 10, and I was there with her, and I watched that woman deteriorate massively from £500 a day's worth of cocaine then into speed, and seeing someone stay up for 3, 4, 5 days on end, destroy the house just to clean it. That was tough. It was a real tough experience, but there was times like she would overdose, and me and my brother found her. We had to get paramedics out, saved her life then, saved her once then. She had to have the stomach pumped. You'd have to quote me on this, but I think it might be younger, but I believe I was about 9 at that stage. That was the first time. And my brother, there's 5 years between the next brother to me, and then there's 7 years with Glenn as well.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, so there's quite a differential gap, but my brother, he did, to be fair, Daniel, he took very, very, very well, tried to protect me from that world as best as he could, because he was so against how my mum was. He was so against it, he kind of went the other way. And he tried to guide me out of that sort of life, but then she turned on him, and then he moved to his dad's, and it was just me and her, and it was like a constant battle, pouring bottles of wine down the sink and stuff as a child. And these are traumas that I buried, but I'm comfortable with now. You know, like, she was sick, she wasn't well, she made some very bad mistakes in her life. Don't hold it against her.
No.
Like, you can't, because you carry that in my own heart. I can't carry the hate of her bad decisions and the effects it had on me as a child. I can't carry that, but it did make me very angry, rebellious. It made me, I was getting dropped off to the school gates, and she'd have a bottle of wine between her legs and sniffing packet, and I'm getting dropped off trying to, then it's like, oh, go for your day.
Yeah.
And I'm causing trouble in school, and I'm the problem.
Yeah.
I'm the one with the issues. And that's when boxing started for me. So it was an outlet.
Yeah.
And
this is at 12?
No, I was younger. It was 8 or 9. So this was the because my first fight about 9, and it was at Lifton Way a long time ago. But I started boxing, and it gave me something, an outlet, and I was like, oh, yes. And I'm training with all these older lads and getting punched in the face. It was my first experience of not just fights, being actually punched in the face.
How did you discover boxing?
My dad took me there. So mate of his, Wayne, he introduced me to Wayne and took me down to that gym. And on the island, it used to be over as you come off of Canby Island between there and Benfleet Station by the dump. It used to be an old shack there, and I mean it was a very old shack, run down, but grit and sawdust. Yeah, proper spit and sawdust.
Old school.
I felt alive in there. I felt at home, and that was like an escape for me. And like my granddad, he was another one who pushed me to do that because he boxed in the RAF. He was, so once again, he stood the sternness behind him. I loved it, absolutely loved it, and I was training sort of twice a week and consistently going, or whatever the kids' classes were. I couldn't tell you how many. It could have been more.
Yeah.
While playing football and all that, I was a very keen sportsman, and it led to my first fight. And I had the first fight where I say fight as a gym bout. You have a gym bout. Loved it. Loved every second of it. I remember turning up at 9 a.m. We turned up to this gym show for the day. Find out my fights at 6 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So then had to sit there all day. Didn't have a pair of. My dad brought me down. We didn't have the shorts. We didn't have the socks. Didn't bring nothing with us. Just unprepared but excited. And ran around, done all of that. And I remember just sitting at the back. And I'll never forget this because it's something like even my dad reminds me. He tells me. He goes, just before I'm about to start this bout, I'm 9 years old and I'm fucking petrified. I must have been, like, when I think about it, I must have been petrified. And I remember just standing up and going, this is what I was born to do. At 9 years old. And I'd never fought before. I was jumped into a ring competitively. Yeah. And the coach at the time, his name was Glenn Walker, God bless his soul. I remember because he ran up to my dad, and my dad told me after, he goes, you never guess what Jordan just said to me out about there. He goes, I was born for this. He goes, I've not met many 9-year-olds who have said that before they've got in the ring for the first time.
Yeah.
And so I thoroughly enjoyed that. But then that come to a very abrupt stop because my mother went, you're stopping boxing, it's making you worse. It's making me more aggressive, more angry. Bypassing the part of the cocaine parties and the all weekend parties, or driving around pissed constantly, and the police and
no responsibility,
no responsibility. It was passed straight onto me. And I had to swallow that, and that was a tough one because I really did. Obviously, I have a profound love for combat sports in general, not just boxing, MMA, but all forms. It's an art for me. It's a science, and I'm passionate about that. And I had it then. That translated into football, but that was that was the fundamental start of it. But it got taken away at that stage, and that was the abrupt stop of it. And then, like I say, I didn't go back into a boxing gym until I was 26. But what led from that was the constant battle within family and addictions and destructive nature and pain, a lot of pain and trauma that I've transmuted in that. As a teenage boy, I've rebelled a lot. I mean, from that age from 9 to about 14, 14, I mean, was tough. A lot of violent outbreaks, police, for myself, I started getting in trouble.
Still in Canby?
Still in Canby, yeah. Starting senior school, went from, because I got expelled from junior school for having a fight with a headmaster. So I was violent anyway. So that was that being channeled from boxing? No, that was not being channeled. That was being channeled from the trauma that I now see now as an adult and with a son. If I was to have presented them same things in front of my boy, I would half expect him to be walking around the same. Yeah. But he had no knowledge of that at the time. I was a child. I was lost and broken, is the way I'd put it. And it comes to senior school, and I suppose that's where it really went fucking south, because it's meant to be your first day, year 7, is meant to be like that. You step into, it's exciting for a child. And it was dreadful.
This is your first day at senior school?
First day at senior school, and I had my brother's hand-me-down blazer, so he was 5 years older than me, so he just left year 11.
Yeah.
So the blazer was a different colour. The tie I had was a different colour. I had holes in my trousers, and I had shoes that looked like noddy shoes,
Everything hand-me-down.
And it was just pure embarrassment. Pure embarrassment. And I just, that internal feeling, so that internal thinking was devastating. Absolutely devastating. And I don't know how to transmute that other than acting a clown. That was the way that I could transmute that, to feel a part of what this was, this school structure, an equal, to feel an equal, because I didn't. I felt less. Below, I felt little, I felt less. And it's sad, like when I was in it was very sad, but now I'm truly humbled by it, because I didn't need flash things. I didn't need that stuff. Like, I just needed love and attention, and I wasn't getting that at home, so I would act out, because that's the form of attention. I was like, I'm getting something from this. Like, I didn't understand the mindset at that time. Now I do, now through studying the psychology and through looking through mindsets and how we operate and how the brain works, and then stimulation of the chemicals we release on that brain. And I was craving it, absolutely thirsting for it. The only way I found that is through that aggressive nature of life, and it led for me to 3 different senior schools, 2 different behaviour units, continued aggression, drugs, drink, just that side of life. And it wasn't continuous like that in a sense, but that's the memories I have. Like, I remember there'd be periods of months on end where I'm 13, 14 years of age, where you could count the days that I haven't taken drink and drugs instead of the days that I had. So it was just a continuous thing. And I say it's cliche with the gateway stuff, but it started from drinking the parties that were there, to seeing all the drugs. It was second nature to me.
Yeah. When you were using at that age, did your parents know that you were, or they only knew that you were playing up?
I used to sniff packet with my girl at 14. Like, that was normal behaviour. Like, but it's fucking not. It's not normal behaviour. So I was very much thrusted into that world. But then from 14, that was it. I was out, and that was it. I was nomadic from 14. I was staying on mates' sofas, fucking anywhere I could go or anywhere I could be, to just not be around that environment. But funny enough, when you leave that environment, there's only places that are welcoming from that is that world.
Yeah.
So I was thrusted into that world, and seeing drug use of the highest level and the darkest of levels was second nature to me. And aggression and violence, police and things. This was stuff that I see on a day-to-day basis. And my circle of friends at the time, we was all very similar. Because we come from broken homes. Like, there wasn't that structure or that safety net put in place for us to develop into young men. It wasn't. So we had to figure it out for ourselves.
And what was your relationship like with your grandparents at the time?
So that was my safety net, but I couldn't be there all the time. I was far too wild. I was so wild. It was like a fearless 14-year-old who had nothing to lose. That's what. But then on the flip side of that, internally, I was a scared little boy. So it's a persona, a mask that I had to portray every day. I had to put on every day, just so I could feel accepted in the world I was in. And then the continuation, that was it. By 14 or 15, I was in another unit. I was living with a girlfriend as well. So the homelessness was massive. It was constant. I was forever homeless. It was just like I had nowhere to actually call my own. And I lived with a girlfriend. I met a girl in Dean's school. That was another one of the senior schools I went to. I was Castleview was the start of senior school, and then it was the PRU, and then Dean's, and then the ISS. I sort of done a travel amongst the schools, but I figured it wasn't for me. Like, I was an individual that was carrying a lot of trauma and pain outside of the classroom, and it wasn't. I was never capable of doing the work. I had no interest in that because there's so much happening outside school.
Yeah.
So it was never really for me, and the structure I didn't like. The structuring of how you've got 30 individuals in a room being taught as a whole. Not every one of us learn the same or respond the same or have the same abilities. I found it flawed. So I would bunk off. I started Dean's in year 8 or 9. And I never turned up because I wasn't on the register. So I just fucked off for the rest of the whole, it was towards the end of year 9, and the whole end of year 9, I just didn't go. Because I wasn't on the register, I just got away with it. And then from the start of year 10, I started there and I lasted 6 weeks. And they threw me out of there. It was just once again, this continuous thing. I was like, discipline of nature, discipline. I suppose I needed that structure and discipline, which I provide for my boy. It's like if what I was missing is an education to what I now need to provide.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm grateful for it. Grateful that was the real hard bit turning point for me. Learning how to be grateful for that journey, because that's who wants to be grateful for their shit? Who wants to be grateful for their past or things that have traumatized them? I suppose it's the best way.
It's an important realization to come to, because once you've got that acceptance,
yes,
you can actually move forward.
Correct.
But unless you have that moment, you're in like denial almost of your past, and you're fighting against it, and you just can't let it go. But once you accept how things were, and you can let it come, basically come to terms with it, and then you can find a path forward.
Well, you heal from it. At that stage, the heal, and then I found the lessons in it.
Yeah,
I found the educations in it, and from that it led to worldwide adventures. I mean, before so my mother.
Tell me a story.
I'll tell you a story. I was in the ISS. I think I must have been 14, 15. So
what is ISS?
Integrated Support Service. So I'd got expelled from Dean's in year 10 after 6 weeks, and then I done a inquest against it because I felt like I was wrongfully dismissed. All I did at the time was I punched the display board because I didn't agree with something the teacher said. He sent me out, and on the way out, I punched the display board. Now, that acting as itself, a lot of boys, young boys, we've got aggression, we let it out. Right, okay, so it split the ball, but it split my hand open. And I didn't realise. I walked all the way around the school, and there was just a trail of blood all around the school. So I went through an inquest with them, and at the time, I was living with my girlfriend. So for 8 solid months, we fought the school board's decision. The school board's decision. So I should be reinstated back into the school. So I dragged it out over 8-9 months, very cleverly, shall I say the least. And then the day with the final hearing, my mother turned up to my girlfriend at the time's house to drive us, because my girlfriend's mother, who massively was helping me through all of this, she picked us up to drive us there, turned up pissed, and crashed the car on the way. So I was fuck it, you can't leave it. It was hilarious.
You never made the hearing.
No. So we got there late, so we had to find alternate means to get there. On the day, we won the inquest. It was a wrongful dismissal, so an act of it was an act of violence, but they put it down as an act of extreme violence. I mean, I punched the display board, but the walking around, shouldn't have walked around with it. I didn't know, so I did know, and I was like, oh shit, like my hand had cut open. But if someone's walking along and they see a trail of blood right away from school, it doesn't look good in the other students. So I get that, I do, but for it to be a first thing to have occurred, and for me to be dismissed for that because of my previous history with other schools, and to be tarred with that brush, and it was like, okay. We won the inquest, but they dragged that out over 9 months, and you can't be reinstated into that school again. So they then housed me into that other facility, the ISS, which is basically the similar story with all these boys. They put together all girls that are struggling in school and have been expelled, and they throw them in one unit together.
Yeah.
Similar to the PRU that I'd done in year 8. So it was like another sort of journey through that. And I was meant to be sitting my GCSEs in now. I was sort of coming 3 times a week and doing basic maths and English and certain amount of GCSEs. And in that time, my mother had sold up everything and buggered off to Cyprus. So didn't hear nothing from her. I was at this stage, wasn't with the girlfriend I was with. I was living in a hostel on Canvey Island, and still going travelling back and forth to this unit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call. So she'd been gone, my old dear, for about 6-7 months. Got a call from her out of the blue. And was like, "Oh, you need to come to Cyprus. You need to help me. The person I'm here with is taking the piss. He's running up tabs everywhere. I need him gone. Basically, I need you to send him home for me." And there was 2 things here that naturally, as a young boy, your mum rings you up, asks you for help. No matter what's happened, I want to help. Yeah, instantly, it's played on my heart. I'm like, yeah, fucking right. Obstacle number 2 is I don't have a passport. So crazy ass thinking was, okay, let's get one of my mother's friends' sons who's young, who's got a young passport. Let's fly you over there on that. So in the following month, she flew back. I then flew back with her on someone else's passport to Cyprus. Removed the person who was in question, got him out, and then I was in Cyprus, and I suppose in terms, an immigrant, I suppose is the way you look at it, but I didn't have any papers.
Undocumented.
And I'm 15 years of age. I'm a minor in another country with no documentation. So I spent 3 months over there instead of taking my GCSEs. I was in Iron Upper, partying as a young 15-year-old, drinking, getting all the shenanigans that go with it. And yeah, so it kind of got from worse to worse. We and her were rowing a lot because there's a lot of buried stuff there and frustrations.
And she called you, but not your brothers.
Yeah. Well, because they'd shut the door.
They wouldn't have done it.
Nah. But this is where it all gets a bit misconstrued, because so we and her had a blazing row, massive row, and she disappeared for a few days. And then, funny enough, with a row arranged with my brothers, they'd come over on holiday to see her. So my oldest brother just had a daughter. It was all like we was all trying to play happy families. Yeah. So yeah, but it's a very valid point that she didn't ring them. She rang the youngest instead of me, and I was the first person to go, right, I'm fucking coming. So they've landed, my brothers, a few days going past, lovely, things going well. We then got in some trouble, some rows with each other all again. So I've then had another row with my old dear, and then she's gone for 3 days. None of us could say, where the fuck is she? I then find out she's flown back to England and left me in fucking Cyprus.
Oh my God.
I've got no passport. So saving grace that my brothers were there at the time. Yeah, so I've got this other passport.
You had the
so
passport
I've got the other
that's
passport,
not yours. Yeah.
But it's due to run out. Yeah. So I'm either going to be trapped in Cyprus now. There's no one there. My brothers are leaving in 3 days. Yeah. So we've had to book my brother, once again, saving grace for me. He's booked the flight for me. Gone through customs this end. So imagine now I'm shitting myself because it's like I'm coming back now.
Yeah.
And I'm on someone else's passport. So I've come back, I've got on a plane. It's quite funny because he's booked a ticket for me. It wound up being a first class ticket. So they're all back into economy and I had the whole of first row to class to myself. So I was getting chauffeured back to England. So on a side note of that story, it was quite funny. We get back and then I remember standing in customs on the way back and you think there was 3 people on the passport checks.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there thinking, I want that one. I definitely don't want that fella. He looks like he takes his job very seriously. Fucking lines up, and I get the guy, and I'm shitting myself, and I'm walking up and going closer and closer to the line, and he takes one look and goes by. I say it in. I was like, I don't know why I had any fear for it, but obviously it was a moment.
Well, you don't know what's going to happen.
15 years old,
and you don't know what actually happens.
Yeah, what is the charge of that? What would I get exactly done for? The journey's already done. I've been there for 3 months and I've come back.
Yeah.
So I, come back, and that was the start of Cyprus journeys for me to sort of come back and forth. But then I was 15 once again. So now I've not done my GCSEs because I'm not out at uni no more because I'd fucked off.
Yeah.
And it was like the start of my real dive into drugs. That was coming back then. I'd already been, around it my whole life, but that's when it started to gain momentum for my own using. From 15, 16, 17. By the time it's too much to sort of go into, but by the time from 15 to by the time I got to nearly 18, 17, I was on crack and heroin. So I was smoking crack and heroin. So that massive leap forward from 15 to 17, where I was homeless and sleeping under bus shelters or staying on mates' floors and wherever I could get. And then, as well as I had another girlfriend as well, so I'd created another relationship, and I couldn't stay there. But she helped me. Sometimes she would sleep on the streets with me. God, her soul, her heart, fucking amazing. And that was right the way up to like 18. She really fucking tried to help me, but I was so fucking wild and lost. I was like a walking chemist continuously, whether it was MDMA and pills and cocaine and then crack and heroin as well. It was a continuous thing every single day, and on the weekends especially. Eventually though, when I was 18, I was like, yes, I've missed a part out of this, but I've got 3 brothers, and one of the brothers, it was on my dad's side. I didn't meet him until I was 13 or something like that. Named Danny. And didn't really have the relationship with him at the start. I hadn't for 12 years, didn't meet him for 12 years, but I then sort of started talking to him a little bit, and then I was 18 and I was in a bad state, in a bad way, because I'm smoking crack every day or taking drugs every day. I'm doing something every day. I got into some trouble with some extreme violence. That was extreme violence on Canvey Island, being homeless, and it was a situation that unfolded, and I really hurt someone, and even to this day I still hold guilt for it, because he didn't deserve all the pain that I put across him. Yes, he made me feel small. Yes, he tried to belittle me. But there's no excuse to the actions that I took, and yeah, I'm still to this day I hold guilt for that, and he didn't deserve that, and I'm still so sorry to that man for that, and that led to me. That was an incident on Canvey Island. It led to me coming away from the island, back and forth. I was back and forth anyway. I was living on the streets at that stage, so I had nothing to lose, and I was threatened, and it made me explode and black out temper, and it was scary as fuck. And that led to me communicating with my brother again, and my brother, he was living in a shared accommodation, and he said, okay, I can get you a room in this shared accommodation. So that was my step away from it. I was like, right, I'm going to tidy up my now. I've got to stop this. I'm no longer homeless, got no excuse to carry on doing these fucking antics. And yeah, for 3 or 4 months living in that place with my brother Danny, I found some solitude. Like, it was nice, and I built a relationship with him. And he was just as fucking crazy as I was. So, and he was older than me, so I looked up to him. Looked up to my brother Danny, and I spent 3-4 months really kind of trying to grow again, trying to help myself in the best way I could.
Do you mind if I ask what you did for money at that time?
So I was a scaffolder.
Okay.
So I'd done scaffolding. So as I come into this place, the guy who owned the place, he used to do stalls on at Chelsea and West Ham, he done merchandise stalls. So the guy, when I moved in, I got to know the guy. Funny enough, he was born on the same day as me.
Like football, West Ham, Chelsea.
Yeah, so he was outside the grounds.
Yeah.
The guy I met, Michael O'Connell. I'm sure he won't mind saying his name, but he was born on the same day as me. So I built an instant rapport with him, and he wanted to help. And I would do work at I'd go to his house and I'd cut his lawns and stuff like that for him. And I've really started to see that hope again, started to see that opportunity in life again. And I'd stopped everything. I stopped it all, put it all down. And I was like, right. And all I did was smoke weed.
Yeah.
I always thought it was harmless. It was like, I'm okay. I can smoke weed. This is the one thing that I do. I don't, that cliche thing, I smoke this, I don't do anything else. So I continued with that path for, it was probably about 3-4 months. And then my brother Danny, he had a split from a girlfriend who cheated on him, and it sort of devastated him a lot. And I got in contact with my other brother as well. So there was a defining night. It was a real turning point because we went back to my old life in a sense, not the very dark circles of life, the crack and the heroin. I come away from that completely, but party scene.
All of a sudden, you're back in that environment.
Yeah, so I put back to the party scene because he was down, and then it all lined up, and we was like, right, we're going over there, and it was with my brothers, and we were partying together. It was just ecstasy, and it was just at the time I felt it was
normal,
harmless. Yeah, normal. Like 18, 19-year-old going up, he was going to Ministry of Sound every weekend. Really ecstasy, loving everyone, and just that sort of life. But for me, once again, I haven't got an off button. So for them, it would stop and the weekend would finish. But for me, I'm carrying on during the week because then I started to get that craving for the rest of it. So I'm smoking crack during the week, and then on the weekends I'm going out and doing ecstasy and fucking thing every single weekend consistently. It was just a continuous fucking thing. Led to deterioration in my world again, I suppose, because I started getting lazy with work. Started to just wanting to earn quick and easy money, and it led to a deterioration in mine and Danny's relationship, and it drove a wedge between us a lot. And then he moved out of where he was, and I just carried on with that cycle. I carried on, and it went boom, 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 from next stage to next stage, to worse, to worse, to worse, to worse. And then Michael, the guy, said to me, he said, "You've got to go, mate." He says, "You've been here for over a year now. You was doing really well, and it's gone you're back down to where you were when you started." So up and down the fucking roller coaster I'd lived on for so long, up moments, down moments, up downs, and even too recently, moved out of there, and that was it. I was homeless again. It was like I was going everywhere, and I started travelling all over the fucking country. So from Bournemouth to Glasgow, I literally travelled everywhere from Warwickshire to Norwich, Great Yarmouth, fucking Birmingham. I was everywhere. Like it was continuing. Wherever I put my hat was where I was at. And
what made you travel to those places? Was
drugs.
Oh really?
Drugs,
Just
yeah.
access.
So ecstasy, a lot of it. I was carrying ecstasies with me everywhere I went. So I was life of the party. So it was like wherever I went, I had drugs with me. So I went to them environments, the rave scene, massively. It was all the time, all over the country. Right? So from Bournemouth to Glasgow, the different raves all over the country, and I was there, and I made them my home, and I was the life of the party. It was like, and so I found and built communities wherever I went. I found communities and sort of just went, "I'm here with you," type thing, and that was it. And I was wherever I laid my hat, and that went on for a number of years. Again, straight away in the cycles again. Still homeless. It's
amazing what the body can cope with.
Yeah.
In it, like all that abuse, and you're still...
We're very much wired for survival.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've managed to survive so much of it. Pushed myself to some very fucking extreme limits, and from times where I'm staying up 7 days on speed, eating speed for 7 days, and fucking trying to be normal.
What was your mental health like at this point?
I thought at the time it would never deteriorate to the levels it got to. I wasn't well. wasn't well. I was carrying on. I buried everything.
Yeah.
All of that. I didn't. No. Optimist. Things are going well. Looking forward.
Yeah.
Not dealing with that fucking emotional baggage and that trauma that is slowly building up. Boom, 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 and it's getting heavier and heavier and heavier to carry. But me, 100 mile an hour. I'm not taking time to look at that and evaluate that, and that took a lot longer for that to really come to stuff. I've always been mental. I've always had fucking. So there's a lot that I've sort of skipped over, but connection with spirit. Like I get downloads in my sleep. I get fucking stuff that comes to me in my sleep, visions, anticipations, stuff that happens. It will come to me in my dream. I don't know why, but that scared me when I was younger. It was like, okay, there's something more to this world. There's something more, but I don't know why, so I bury it. I'm carrying on with what I'm doing.
You've got an example of something that came to you in a dream and that came to real?
Yeah, people passing. My brother.
You lost your brother. Which one?
Danny. So yeah, I suppose.
I'm sorry, man.
We're gonna sort of jump forward a bit. So to 26. And once again, I'd just come back from another. I'd listed, so I'm going to skip the whole Cyprus bit because I was there for 4 or 5 years. I'm going to skip that.
Yeah, that's fine, man.
And I came back after I lived there for 4 or 5 years, and I was broken again, absolutely broken again. I was on my fucking ass, and started using again. I'd lost my grandparents over that period of them 5 years. Both of them went. And it just spiraled me, and I was just lost, giving up. I was acting like I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. I was just fucking lost. I was a scared young man. There's a young boy, really, inside, scared child inside.
Yeah.
And I had to betray something to be something I wasn't. Like, be something that I'm all happy and everything's all going well, but it was a fucking mask.
Yeah.
The reality of it, I'm looking at everything I thought, and I was so empty on the inside, so drained. It all started to catch up. And that's when the mental health went to another level. It was the psychosis becoming a reality, the visions of angels and demons, and some real fucking darkness that I had run away from, in a sense, because I hadn't fucking dealt with my shit. And I understand it more now. I look at it and I go, okay. In my head, I say to myself, it was a spiritual slap, and it was exactly what I needed, because that road to chaos was going nowhere. I was going to wind up dead. So it went, wallop, here's your slap, be humble.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that sense. Don't be so chaotic.
And was that something that you live with during the day, or was that just like haunting you at night time, or was it just constant?
In the living day, in the walking day. I was in and out of the psychiatric units. So this is I've got a big thing with the whole psychiatric thing, because I was admitted for drug-induced psychosis when I was 26, 27. But they wouldn't test me without drugs. They wouldn't give me a formal diagnosis without drugs. They just said drug-induced psychosis, but that's just the fucking label they give everyone.
Yeah.
Because they gave the same thing to my brother and...
Danny,
yeah. So this is where stuff can get a little bit fucking weird, because the week that I admitted myself into the psychiatric unit, my brother Danny, who I hadn't spoke to in 3 or 4 years, was sectioned. He's in the same ward. Yeah, there's 2 wards in the Basildon Hospital. He was sectioned into one, and I was self-admitted into another, because I was petrified. I didn't know what I was doing, but once again, it was like my armbands had been taken off, and they go, now swim in the deep ocean. Well, even to this day, as much as it was the most petrifying, scariest thing I've ever been through in my fucking life, I'm so grateful for it now. Comes back to that gratitude. Learn to be grateful for that trauma, that pain.
Is that, when you say in the deep ocean, is that because you went like cold turkey? Is that what it was?
No. So when I say like the deep, I'm talking about of my own psyche.
Okay.
So instead of seeing everything I thought, all of a sudden everything was
dark.
dark. Yeah, there ain't no light. There ain't no nothing in it. It was just pain, trauma, fear, guilt, all of that stuff that I hadn't dealt with just swallowed me.
And you feel it in your body, or is it just all in your mind?
No, in the body and the walking day. I mean, anyone who's lived and experienced any form of psychosis or schizophrenia or anything like that will understand what I'm saying when your psyche comes alive and you are building, whether it's an illusion. Right, this is the big thing in it. Is it an illusion? Am I creating this, or is it reality? But every single one I've ever spoke to, and still people I talk to now, they have a phase where they all believe they were Jesus Christ. So, can we all think the same way? Is that all the same thing? Have we all had the same mentality change? Is there something, or is there something a bit deeper to that? So I study, after years of being in it, I'm studying things, looking into things like the Dark Night of the Soul, and it was part of my journey. And I never nearly come back from that. Back from that.
Yeah, because you mentioned the Dark
Night of the Soul.
Dark Night of the Soul.
That's just from studying scripture and stuff like that.
So what is the Dark Night of the Soul? Because I don't know what that is.
So it's a removal of an ego death, a removal of everything that you thought was reality, a complete blank slate, and then trauma and panic and desperation. Yeah, so it was like, for me, fear was the first time I was controlled completely by fear. Everything that I was thinking, looking, even I'm driving my car down the road, didn't know what way to turn the car because of the consequence of the action. Thinking everything's got that butterfly effect to it, and I'm so scared about the result. But once again, it's in my mind, and how I was looking at it, it was like my own creative mentality was turned against me. But it was a healing process, and I had to ride through that. I had to experience that, and I still live with it this day and age. But my discipline and the way that I fight back against it, because if that's all negative energy, I fucking power it with positive now. I'll fight back. And all that time I spelt self-destructing, I'd built a fucking monster that was ready to pounce. And when it did pounce, I wasn't prepared. I'd given up. I'd given up in life. I didn't have nothing to fight for. I didn't truly want to be here, but I couldn't take my own life either. So it was like, and I felt like all that was a push for me to try to commit suicide. That's what my mental psyche was telling me. And I was writing over and over, because I write a lot, not so much anymore, but I was writing continuously every day. If I don't give up, then I can't lose. It was like programming myself. Even when I was locked in a padded room and I'm writing this down. If I don't give up, at the time I didn't know if I was going to survive the next 5 minutes. It was so fear controlled. And that's a very dark world to live in. And my brother Danny brings back to that. He went through exactly the same thing at the same time, and we had no communication. That was, for me, it was like, okay, so there's something more grand going on here, because that's my brother, and we're connected on some way, level, bloodline, or whatever you want to call it. He's had exactly the same experience at the same time. Now, this is where we're fighting through. I'm going to sort of tie it in with the gym now, because why this place is so fucking important. Because my brother didn't win his battle. I still fight mine every day, but he gave up. He couldn't face it no more for his own reasons. Yeah, I don't blame him for it, because it can be a fucking horrible place to live in your own mind at sometimes. It's the worst neighbourhood in the world. But he got to a stage and he couldn't deal with it no more, and he took his own life. And I don't want that for people. I know, I see people struggling daily on a day-to-day basis. That is not the way you want to go. Yeah. No matter how low or thing we're doing, because there's been times when you even contemplate about doing it and not want to be here because of that mentality. But there is a way to process them thoughts and them emotions that are temporary, and to fight back, to fight through it. It sounds cliche, but it works. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that are coming down to this gym and seeing real change in their life. But not because I'm going, this is how you do it. I'm going, this is how I done it. If you implement this into your life, I have to do a daily ritual every morning to myself. If I can't put 5 minutes into myself in the morning before I go take on the fucking world, like, no one wants to do that. No one wants to get up and write 10 things they're grateful for. Every single morning I wake up 10 things, or 6, 7, as many as I can muster in the morning. The minute I open my eyes, so I program my mind to think of gratitude. The first thing I do when I open my eyes. Then I do affirmations. And I affirm to myself how I am and what I am, because my mind spends 10,000 thoughts during the course of the day telling me how much of an arsehole I am. I'm going to fight back. So I then program my mind to have that little bit of resistance against that, because that's what that is. Our mind will play with us.
Can you tell me what your gratitude practice is in the morning, what they are, and then what your affirmations are?
Yeah,
so maybe that might be helpful for people watching.
So I'm grateful to be alive and healthy. I'm grateful for my beautiful wife and amazing son. I'm grateful for their health and their happiness. I'm grateful for my peers and the people around me. I'm grateful for the Fighting Through family. I'm grateful to be clean and sober, and for 15 months, I may add.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm grateful to be clean and sober and not in that madness, because day-to-day survival was horrendous. Now I look forward to the days. I look forward because I know there's more coming. I know I can push myself forward to achieve more, because I do this type of work every single day. I'm grateful to see the gym growing daily, not just weekly, daily, with no people coming through this building. I'm grateful to see the change in the people that have been with us since the start, from people getting their families back to getting going to college, no matter their age, to going to college or going to back to work, or really pushing on with something that they wanted to do, becoming coaches that they never thought they would do. Never thought throw a punch. Now all of a sudden they become coaches. I'm grateful for today. Grateful for the roof over my head. I've been homeless for a lot of years in my life. I'm grateful to have a warm bed to sleep in at night. I'm grateful for my cold shower. Now this is a tough one, right? So that's a discipline that I do every morning. I have a cold shower every morning, and that is also, once again, to raise my frequency.
How long do you last now? Because I've done that, and I've increased the time over to, but I've not done it for a while.
It changes every morning. So how my shower works, I turn on the hot shower until it comes out freezing cold, until it goes warm. So sometimes that can be 30 seconds, sometimes that can be a minute and a half. Other times I haven't put the water on and I'm standing there for 2 minutes going, it's going to get hot in a minute. But it's a daily discipline, and I cannot start my day without doing it.
Really? Yeah.
I cannot. I can't, because now I know what that gives me, and it gives me the endorphins that release over a slow period of time. So the serotonin and dopamine that my mind is craving for. I've depleted my receptors within my brain so much because of the high levels of drugs, the doses I used to take over a consistent basis for many and many years. I've had to rewrite that, and it does heal over time. I'm just starting to get to a stage where I don't have to train. I had to.
Yeah.
It was the only answer, the only way I could escape it. Yeah. Whereas now with the community we've got here, that gives me oxytocin, and I see the people smiling, laughing, joking. The people that come down here from the first thing in the morning, sometimes they sit all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've come from a struggling.
It's almost like you're taking their energy, and for yourself, you don't have to do it so much anymore.
Well, no, it's just that community. Like a lot of us, when you've been, like, especially cocaine, when you get to the end of the cocaine thing, it's so lonely. It's an isolation. You are alone, and that's where you want to be. That's where it tells you want to be. I wanted to be there. I was so fucking greedy. I didn't want to share it with no one. And then, on the flip side, that's exactly where it all ends. No matter how much you get into cocaine, whether you start, that's where it fucking ends. On your own. Yeah? Crying. Yeah, that's where it ends up. It will take everything from you. Everything. So to now have such a beautiful sanctuary where I can come and I can see people's lives changing, and I can say, the party's fucking over, but this is the new party. This is the pub without the drink, and you see it. You're part of the group, Scott. Yeah, you see the daily messages. You see how uplifting people are, and not just the uplifting, because we focus a lot on that sometimes. But when someone's having a bad day or something happened, how quick is everybody to rally around that person?
Yeah, the support is amazing. Yeah,
that's needed.
And not only that, but the fact that people are able to reach out in the first place says a lot, because not everyone has that. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not at the gym, but they're on the WhatsApp group. I can't keep up with it. There's hundreds of messages go through it every day. It's incredible.
Right. And that's been built that's been built off of the individuals that come down here, and you see people stepping into leadership roles now. They've been here from the start, and they've walked through the door how I was when I started, fucking broken. Yeah, and now they're stepping into leadership roles and becoming a pillar in their community and helping people in their community, not only for themselves, for their family, and for those around them. That's what this is about. This is what being able to have somewhere where you can rely on people, but then not only that, you're accountable for them. Yeah, they can rely on you. Yeah, and you will go above and beyond to help people, but they will go above and beyond to help you. Instead, it's a constant divide, and I say this a lot in here. That out there is a fucking dog eat dog, and in this building it ain't. We ain't fucking dogs fighting over the same bowl. We all share. Yeah, and there's plenty to go around.
That's the importance of community, isn't it?
Correct.
You know, that's why community is so important.
Yeah,
and like you said, out there. In pockets, you have it. In pockets, you have it.
You can't put that under the whole. You can't paint everything with the same brush.
But as a society, we have to learn how you implement that.
Correct.
On a societal basis, where
on a wider scale, because if we can do it in this building with thousands of people, then it should be something that should be looked across the nation. Not just Southend. It should be. That's our aspirations with this now. We started off fighting through with that one thing. If we could help one person not go down the fucking road that me and Rich walked down, this journey would be worth it 1,000 times over. Little did I know, across the 10 months that we've been open, it would be thousands of people that have come through the gym. You can't anticipate that. It goes back to the start of that chat. You can't anticipate what that was going to be. But the power behind that is the lived experience that myself and Rich have. And the guys that come down here, because I'm not going to get someone to go in and go, I'm feeling this way, and I go, here's a book, right? So you've got this. Here's a fucking tablet. Fuck off.
Yeah.
No, that ain't the answer. I'm sorry, that wasn't the answer for me, and it brings me back to Danny again. And this is where my drive and my motivation, not only for myself, because my addictions took me to very dark places, but I lost my brother because of that world and the mental health medication and the stuff like that, and there's other ways. That ain't the be all and end all. Don't just fucking see your doctor the first time. Like, don't take it away from them. Some people are adamant that that's the only way that they can maintain peace within their mind. I think there's other ways. I really do. I think it starts with you. I think you've got to start in cleaning out your internal baggage, making amends to people, building up strength and discipline within yourself, working out, going for a fucking walk, getting back into nature.
Practices are really important, aren't they? Because they anchor you. Like if you're doing a gratitude practice, a cold shower, your affirmations, these things every morning, they become, and they don't have to be them, but something which you tie yourself to, where you know there's certainty. I know when I get up tomorrow, I'm going to do this, and this, and then whatever happens. But
I'm going to equip myself to deal with
the practice is so important, and then there's a programming element to that, because you're, instead of constantly doing bad things and programming yourself in the bad way do bad things, you're doing positive things and programming yourself to do positive things.
That's the philosophy.
So yeah, it's you have to start from somewhere. You have to start from where you're at,
and you don't see the results straight away.
No, it's consistency.
It's like paying it forward. It's an act of faith almost, because I had to have faith that things would be better, because before this journey began, I mean, I met Rich in January last year. I was still using. I was still in active addiction, and I signed up for a fight, and thank fuck I did.
Where did you meet?
In this boxing gym. This used to be Fight Fit Academy.
So you come here to train?
I came here to train.
And Rich was training here too?
Well, he turned up for a heavyweight sparring day. So I turned up for the heavyweight sparring, and so did Rich.
Yeah.
And I met him that day, and the rest is fucking history. The man offered to give me some work.
Was he in sobriety at the time?
Yes. So Rich is further down the journey with me, and I was still in active addiction, and we was having a chat during the sparring, funny enough, while we're punching each other in the face, sort of talking and going through, and then we were keeping warm at the sides, and and I was like, do you know what, he's right in what he's saying. He was like, boxing does this for me, and it's why he still does it, and I was like, It's fucking the reason I'm still alive today is because of this sport. And that was the very start, because I was sort of in and out. I mean, my using took me to a devastating place eventually, and I'm going to touch on that before I get into Rich, because this needs to be heard. Because there's a lot of people that are going to relate to this. The using will start off as mediocre. It never did for me. It will start off small, going out with friends and stuff like that. I was always 100 mile an hour with it, but I know, and I've seen it countless times from a very young age of how it grips you. It starts off with that using on the weekend with friends. And then you like, all of a sudden one creeps to you during the week. And then all of a sudden it's twice on the weekend, once in a week. And then all of a sudden it's a continuous battle, and then it pulls you away from your social environments and it strips you away of everything. And then for like me, I was straight into that for that. But I would be 3-4 nights without sleep, and it wasn't even the last time, because I went back to it, but I overdosed after 3-4 days of being constantly up, and I wanted to stop, so I just chugged a bottle of methadone. And methadone is the artificial opiate they give for heroin users when they're trying to come off of heroin. And I wasn't a heroin addict anymore, so who knows? I was just like, fuck it, I need to do it. And I just chugged the bottle, and I managed to get home. Don't know how the fuck I managed to get home, but I got home and I collapsed. And then the next thing I woke up, I was in intensive care. And that was a real mindset change for me, because that almost my body will go on forever was taken away, because it was like, it finally caught up.
Who found you?
My wife and my son. And the devastating trauma effect. This is another thing. We don't see the damage it causes to other people. As much as I never went out and hurt anyone to get my drugs or robbed from people, I always fucking worked for my highs. I was woken up by my wife and my son, who was 2 at the time. And that was that was hard, because everything had shut down. Everything. They had to inject me with Naxalone 8 times for me to come around. And I remember waking up and out of it, and I'm sitting over like this, and I've got the ump with Hannah for calling the paramedics.
Yeah.
How fucking dare you call the fucking... Get out of the fucking... I'm half dead on the floor. I'm death rattled. It's like the irony of it. You can't make it up, because that's like the self-centered fucking ness that you have when you're a user. Selfish behaviours. And yeah, so I come out of that, and then I'm sitting in... I wake up from the next part, and I'm laying in a hospital bed. And the sort of... I've got my mate, my wife and my dad around the bed, and I was like, I've sat up and I've thrown up, and it was just pure blood. Whoa, projectile blood all over everywhere. And I've fallen back asleep again. But the doctor went to me, he went, you are very unwell internally, very, very unwell. So then I found out my liver collapsed. So my lungs collapsed, my livers, my kidneys, everything shut down. All my intestines stopped working. Everything that was connected, all the vital organs had just stopped. It just died. The only thing that was going was my heart. So I had to be put into the ICU unit. And from the ICU unit, I had a dialysis machine. I had tubes in my cock. I had tubes in my main artery in my leg. I had things in my neck. There was some tubes in my neck. All of them had a different thing to keep the organs going, to keep me alive. And 21 fucking days, and that's where that well can take you, and how low it can take you. And it really, really was an eye-opener in that sense. But what was a breaking point as well was I didn't see my boy for nearly 14 days, and I was in the intensive care unit, and then they moved me over to the ward, there was two defining moments in that hospital that really fucking shook me to my core. One was my wife come up and see me, and we're sitting outside. I finally got a bit of mobility. So I don't know, sorry, the first one, my wife and my son come up after 14 days and seeing my boy, that was hard. That was hard because it all become real. Like, he hasn't seen me in 2 weeks. He's been at home crying his eyes out. Where's my dad? And I had to sit with that. And that pain, I still feel that now. And I had to sit with that. And I used that as the fuel. I'll come back to that. But I used that as the fuel for now. But I sat there, broken, half dead. My boy come and see me. And that's when the miracle started happening. It was fucking insanity, really. So when you go on dialysis, it's for life. Yeah, so my kidneys and that were failed. So that was it for life now. My liver, that's what I had to do. And monitor it. And then my kidneys reactivated and my intestines started working again. So I could piss and I could shit. I hadn't took a shit in fucking 19, whatever amount of days it was. And I was in such agony, like my whole body. It's just saying, I was like, so I couldn't process the fluids. So everything went with water weight. So I was just like bags of skin.
Yeah.
Found the humour in it at the time, as I do, as my brain does. But eventually that it turned back on. And then my kidneys turned back on. And then my liver, which was processing things that was through dialysis, eventually they went to me, you're going to come off of dialysis. And the doctor said to me, I don't know what the fuck's watching over you. You are incredibly lucky to come away from that.
This doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. It's not something that happens very often, put it that way. But the other, so then I started getting mobility about, and I'm walking around a little bit. And I'm having to sort of re-teach myself to do it because my motor skills were fucked. Like, I was literally fucked. I'm outside, I'm sitting outside, and the main surgeon who when he first saw me, so he put the tubes in my neck and stuff like that to, it was this one of the sides, when it went into the main arteries and that, and I was sitting outside with my wife and he come past and he see me and he was like that and he looked and then he double looked and he come over, he was like wow, as if to say like, you're fucking alive. He didn't say it like that, obviously, like it wouldn't have gone down, we were served very well, but I'm sitting there with Hannah and I was like, did you fucking say that? Well, she said to me, it's like, did you say that? It was like, he didn't expect to see you again. I was like, right, so now there's something I know now that I shouldn't be alive, that I'm granted my life to something. My wife saved me when I was on the floor, the paramedics saved me, my internal organs, all of that failing, and then it's all been reactivated and started again. That don't happen. And you'd think that would be enough for me. No, I had to make all the fucking same mistakes again. So a continuous fucking loop of bullshit. I came out of there and I really did press on with trying to stay clean and sober. That was priority number one. I need to stay clean and sober.
When you just said that, do you mean you did start using again after that time?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, so I stayed clean for 97 days after that. But in that time, me and my wife split up because every morning she's coming down and seeing the sofa where I was laying dead. The trauma was still there for real for her. I'm getting better. Oh yeah, I'm attending meetings. I'm doing everything I can to get better. And I'm getting better.
How long were you married for at this time?
So how long ago? We've been married 3 years. So we've just 2.5 years we've been married. That time. So she is going through these traumas, and I can't see that because I'm self-absorbed. It's all about me again. I'm getting better. Selfish. Selfish in recovery, selfish in fucking addiction. And she moved out with my son, and I stayed clean for another 2 weeks after that because I was like, what's the fucking point? I've got clean and sober and I've lost my family. I was working again. I went back to work. I was fit and strong again. Well, I say fit and strong when I was fucked, but I was building up again. Like,
good enough.
Yeah, I was getting back to. I felt like 97 days. I'm alright again. You know what I mean? So, and then I started to dabble again. It was only started. I was buying a couple of wraps of gear, And I wasn't drinking, so I at that stage, I wasn't social with it. I'm behind the curtains.
Yeah.
Literally one line and I'm fucking behind the curtains. Like, it's not enjoyable anymore. That's just the addict inside of me. There's not. He's still there, ever present. So I went through that for another 6 months. And over that period of time, I got back with my wife. So she moved back into the house. I was due to move out. So I was like, wait, you're going to stay here.
You're still using?
Yeah, even though I was still using. She moved, so there was...
Did she know, or were you hiding it?
No, she knew. So we had an agreement because there was some circumstance had changed, and I went to her, instead of you going through the council and everything like that, I said, you and Dylan come back, and I'll move out, which I was due to do. And then that place fell through, and then it was Christmas. So it was like literally at Christmas point. So I stayed there over Christmas, and I was using over Christmas. I stayed clean Christmas Day, and I stayed clean New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve is my brother's birthday, Danny, and I really didn't want to use because that will bring out some fucking real dark emotions. So I was using through that, and then in January, this is the one that really it shook me up massively, because I'm still using. Bear in mind all the hospital thing had happened, all of that. I was like, me and Hannah are starting to get good. As much as I'm using, I wasn't destroying myself, yeah. But then it got to January, and then I was disappearing for 3 days. So I was starting to destroy myself again. Yeah. I went straight back into that. It's like lying to myself, I can handle this. I can go to work, I can come home, and I can on a weekend, I can do it once. No, it's fucking bullshit. I lied to myself, setting myself up to fail again. And for the 3 days I disappeared. But then this was the last one. The last one, and funny, I met Rich at this stage, so I said I made arrangements with Hannah and Dylan to take him to Adventure Island, a day out, planned out, everything, and every intention of doing so. I'm driving back from work, and then instead of driving straight home, I rang my dealer, and when I picked up, 3 days, disappeared, turned my phone off, let him down. Again. And on the third day, I don't even know why, because I'd only known Rich a little while, but I'd built a connection with Rich straight away. And I messaged him, and I was like, I'm sitting here outside my house in perpetual fear, like going in with my tails between my legs. I've let them all down. And he just said on a message, he was like, "You gonna go out and face the music?" And I was like, so I sent just an ear, a music symbol. I was like, fuck. So I went in on Facebook. This will hold with me forever, and I will use it as fuel forever. So I come into the door, and she's just bored of this same shit going over. But my boy, and he looked at me, and he was so excited. So excited to see me. Even though I'd let him down, and I'd fucked off for 3 days, he was still beaming to see me. And it took something from me. In that moment, it fucked me up. It took something from me. And I'm trying to play with him, and I'm like trying to engage with him. I've been up 3 days, I'm just riddled in guilt. And I can still derive that emotion now and transmute that. That's what I do now. But that moment was a defining point, because I stopped. That was the very last time I'd fucking used. And that was over 15 months ago, so it's still relatively new. But that was from that stage to that. And I'd signed up for a fight. And I fought, got back into the boxing ring. That's what I needed to do. I got back into the boxing ring. And I'd gone from that stage, because I was using fucking stupid amounts. I trained for 2 weeks and took on a fight. Lost the fight on points, but I gave a good account of myself, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I could actually do something with boxing. I've loved this sport since I was a kid. and there's an option here. I'm training in the gym. I felt welcome in the gym as well, and it then led to from next step to next step to next step to the birth of Fighting Through, because the gym was closed on Tuesday and Friday, and we was like, why can't we do this to help people? I've got to 2-3 months clean at that stage, and I was like, yes, we can do something with this. Signed up for another fight, won that fight because I actually trained and pushed myself forward. That was a proud moment as well, because it was like, it was keeping me clean. Fuck the result of the fight. It was like I trained,
applying yourself in a positive way.
Applying myself, I didn't care if I win or draw, but I was applying myself and I was staying clean, and that was for the principle of training for myself, because I was going home. I had to quit. I had to change all my moral compass and change as a man going to chase money. I had to stop and change it and rewrite my own brain and go, no, because the more I keep chasing things, all I'm going to do is self-destruct at the end of it. And Rich was the same. And then Fighting Through was born, March 28th, 2025, last year. And then on the third week of us doing the classes, we had nearly 30 people in attendance. So I didn't know any of them. Well, I'd met a few of them the week before, but I didn't know the whole room of people. And most of them people are still with us now.
Amazing. And was all that just through social media?
Through Stars. So I was doing the correct things to do. I went to Stars. That was the start of my journey, because I went to go get...
Stars is a local
drug and alcohol
recovery service.
Listen, they're fantastic. That was the start for me, even if I was going once a week just to the meeting, because I was so ready for my journey to start, so ready to stop, and I was desperate at every angle to just not go down that road. Boxing was the answer for me. But having somewhere where I could go once a week and be around the individuals where I could go, right, it's been a fucking tough week this week, I ain't used. And I met quite a few of the people that are still within the gym now, in Stars, and the journey from there to here is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Not just my own journey, everyone else's around it, and
in a short period of time as well.
Yes, yeah. So we didn't actually take on the gym and open up the gym until July the 8th. We had for 3 months. We had just the classes running, and that become a family then. And many of them, they're still here now, and their lives.
So what was the arrangement? You just
Tuesdays and Fridays we would come in on.
You rented the space for the time, and
we made it was closed. The gym was closed, so we just said that we'll make it a donation basis only, which we still do now.
Yeah.
Donation basis only, where you can come in, and you can, even if you ain't got money in your pocket, come and train.
Yeah.
Come and experience what me and Rich have done for me to be clean and for him to be clean, to see if it works for you.
Yeah.
And it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing, and people kept turning up, and the continuation. But then you notice improvements in their life. They notice improvements in their life. The people around them are noticing their lives improve.
Yeah.
We're on the same. And from the birth of Fighting Through 28, when the first night I went home, I was so riddled with fear. And I was like, let's give the game away. I was like, I know I need to do this. Whereas before, fear would control me. Now it fucking drives me, and I utilise it. That's why that with my boy there, as much as I could sit there and sob myself about that, all it does is drive me, because I will not go back to being that person again, and I will prevent as many people as I can, many children as I can, to go through that, or my journey, or whatever I can to do that, to make that not their journey. I will give everything to that. And my wife's fully on board with that. She knows how much I have to be here and how much I have to put into what I'm doing, because it is, once again, all or fucking nothing. And I choose all. I choose everything, and I choose people's lives and safety and better communities, healthier people, stronger people. Yeah, because a lot of people are walking around, they're lost, they're feeling abandoned, they're feeling like they're divided against or belittled, or they have to adhere to a certain way in behaviour, especially the younger generation now is scary. They have to adhere to a certain way. That's fucking bullshit. I've because my cousins, brothers and this person, they're selling drugs, I've got to be in that world. You fucking haven't. I'm the living proof.
Show a different way.
Yeah, there is another way of coming out of that world. You can either carry on walking that life and you will end up dead, in prison, or in serious fucking trouble. or you can take a pause. It took a 3-month pause for me to stop and reevaluate everything, uncondition myself to be the way I was, start programming. That's when my programming started, from my own self. The affirmations, the gratitude. This is stuff that I've learned from a long time ago. I've skipped the Cyprus bit out because we haven't got all day to go through most of the journeys, but the journey in the UK that led to here was important.
You can touch on it if you want to. It's fine.
Well, I'd learned about manifestation.
So you went and lived in Cyprus for 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and
your mum was not there at the time. She had come back. Or?
No, so she'd gone back over there again, and I'd went over there. I was 20. I'd gone over there, and it was a bit of a escapism for me because I was in the deep thick of drug abuse. So I went over there again. This time with my passport. I may add.
Do you remember the name on the guy's passport?
I do, but I'm not going to say. He's a close.
You probably shouldn't say that.
He's a close friend of mine, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Any figures.
Yeah, fair play.
So I flew back over again, and it's another thing because heartstrings again, because I've heard that she's in real trouble, and I land there and she was the colour of a Simpson.
So you went to help your mum again?
Yeah. She was the colour of a Simpson on the floor with blood, shit and piss all matted in her hair. Her face was beaten to shit. She was just a fucking mess. And I didn't know that before I left. I knew she was in trouble.
Yeah.
But I went.
You weren't expecting that?
No. And yeah, I was going to be there for a period of weeks just for help her, but then it ended up being 5 years. So I went through the processes of getting her to help, and obviously no one wants to help someone who don't want to help himself. And that was a hard journey.
There's a limit to that, isn't there? Because you can't help someone, they have to want to help themselves.
That's right. And
I did. You have to go through, like you have to get to that point, that dark side, to then give you the push out of it. You know,
a lot of people don't come back for that though. This is what.
Yeah.
But there needs to be more knowledge around it. There needs to be more education around the fact that once you're in that world, you can't see nothing out of it. But you need to be around people that have lived that, guided through it, because there is fucking hope. There is a way through it. Like it takes a lot of discipline and ultimately time. Time and being able to. Acceptance is massive. Accept the things that I can't change.
Well, like you telling your story becomes that beacon of light for people that are in that. Do you know what I mean? Because you there is a path out of it, because if someone else has done it, then it means that it's possible.
It's a roadmap.
Yeah.
It's a roadmap out of trauma, pain, struggles, whatever it may be. A bit irrelevant of all of that. It's belief in yourself, because what you believe is what your reality will be. So if you believe you can do something or you believe you can't, you are right. Yeah. So belief in yourself. Self-doubt is the killer of dreams. So I program my mind every day like I've already received this journey, like it's already happened. I program my thinking that way. So I align myself with a frequency. I align myself with a frequency to help others. And there's no greater purpose in life. I've met a lot of people in my time.
Yeah, tell me about. So, were you in Cyprus, and you met lots of people in Cyprus, didn't you? Like, were quite pivotal.
Tons. Yeah.
I met a lot, and you done a bit of studying there, didn't you, as well?
So I studied law of attraction, manifestations, Gnostics. I studied a lot of astrology and numerology, and I wanted to understand, because I was getting downloads in my sleep as well, and I was getting this information being fed into me from a very young age, and I always met individuals that were very mystical. It's the only way I can explain it. I sound fucking crazy to a lot of people, and I've always been introduced to these people and met these people across my journey, and they've sort of dropped little crumbs of knowledge for me to
I think these people are more. It's not hard to explain, but you feel it when you're around them.
Correct.
So it's an energetic thing, not necessarily something you can articulate.
You can't put it into a description, because it doesn't have that level of there. But it's knowledge, it's energy, it's frequency, it's passed over, and there was bits that were passed to me along the way, and I was fascinated. So my whole thing was to learn and study it and really go deep on a lot of it. But you can get a little bit too far into one side, that side, and you get lost in it.
A lot of the knowledge is ancient and it isn't taught in the mainstream.
That's right.
So for anybody to come across it, perhaps in the way that you did, it's completely new.
Correct.
And it becomes, and it's a whole world.
Yeah. But once again, it comes back to it interested me.
Yeah.
So once I had that internal interest into something, it's 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So I was going so far in depth into studying it. A lot of it can be occult knowledge as well, I suppose, but they label it like that to scare people from looking.
Yeah.
To scare people from having understanding simple biology, how we operate, how our systems operate, and how the best ways to think about it. I mean, it took me on studies and great professors and great individuals. Like, look up people like Nikola Tesla. That man was light years above of his time where he was at, and he was positioned for a specific reason, because without him we wouldn't have the connections, the communications that we do now, the phones, the radios. We wouldn't have none of it. But that man used this knowledge, these frequencies, these vibrations to gain that information for us as a blueprint, as a whole entire of humanity to evolve
for the benefit of
humanity. Yes, correct. And you don't always have that. No. There's individuals that hold and maintain this knowledge and use it for their own personal gain.
Yeah.
Whereas now the knowledge I've gained, I'm utilising for the betterment of people, and it's working. So there's something in it.
Yeah.
All these people I've met along my way, and journeys and educations, and a lot of it was gained through fucking trauma and pain, and that's normally where the best of educations have learned. In my time, having nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat, and a broken heart, they were the three best educations you could ever hope for. And I'm so grateful for all of it now. And you can't, a lot of people, when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to go, I'm fucking grateful for this. You can't. You physically can't. But across a period of time, you will look back and you go, yeah, there's the lesson. There was the education I needed to evolve into the best version of myself.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like, whatever you're going through, what is the lesson?
Yeah.
Find the lesson in it, because if you don't, it's just going to repeat.
Correct.
Because you try, from my opinion as well, it's almost like the experience that you're going through is trying to guide you. And if it's hard, it's because you're in the wrong direction and it's trying to push you in another way.
That's right.
And you have to learn the lesson to get some kind of direction.
Definitely. And do you know what? That's very hard to understand when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Very hard to understand, because all you can, especially like with depression and these words that they label on, it's a spiritual sickness. There's something internally not right. Start doing the internal work. Daily discipline will change your life. Discipline. I'm so disciplined in everything I do now, and I see results in it. At first I didn't see no results. It was blind faith. I just knew if I carried on working this path, maybe something would happen.
Yeah.
But I had an internal belief. I was like, I will make this fucking work.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, I know I've got that 100 mile an hour into anything. And if I really, an opportunity presents itself, I'm going to run with it massively. Because for me, it is life or death. Life or death, life or death, life or death. And I choose life every time. Now, you should choose fucking death all the time. I used to choose that whirlwind of craziness, because I thrive in that. Thrive in the trenches. But that's what makes me well equipped for this. It's the same as Rich. It's the same as most of the people that come down here. Once they start to heal, it makes them equipped to be in the trenches with the people that are still in that.
Yeah.
And that's where Fighting Through was born. That's where it all started from. That's where it is. But where it is now, a development in the stages of that, when you've got these individuals stepping into leadership roles. We have fantastic boxing coaches down here. You can learn to box in this building as well, because that was the fundamentals of it. I love this sport. So does Rich. And we stepped into them coaching roles, and now other individuals that have been with us a long time are stepping into them roles.
You can build the whole thing around boxing.
Correct, yeah. Well, you've done a camp with us before. You know what it's like in this building when we're in a camp and we're getting ready for the fight nights, and how exhilarating that is, and the passion, and everyone pours into each other, and that fight night alone, that was fantastic. We had 17 of us go and put on a show. What an amazing event that was. So that besides all of the life, the journey, the traumas, the stuff like that, which a lot we've sort of covered, but there's obviously so much more you could go
lot to
over.
look forward to. Yeah, it's funny.
All of
Like
that
I have a different perspective, but with the same type of goal, I suppose. Like your thing is discipline, where it's like this, but I treat in a similar way, but it's practice.
Yeah.
So I'm still like this,
Correct.
but it just takes a bit
Different
of
word.
different word, but it's a bit softer.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't do it, it's fine. I do it the next day. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not.
But yours is not do or die. This
is so it's more like your mentality is it's more harder. Like
Correct.
I've got to be disciplined, whereas I'm a bit softer, where it's just practice. Everything's practice, and it's fine. Outcome doesn't really matter.
Once again, it's because for you that you still have, as much as I still call it discipline, that is still a discipline. You're still disciplining yourself. If you have a lapse day, it's not the be all and end all for you. Yeah. For me, it's because my mentality is do or die. I have to. But I see fantastic results.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to. Like at first, I didn't. Like if you put 6 months of work into yourself, no one can take that away from you first and foremost. But your life will be in a totally different place. Start drinking and taking drugs. Yeah, that's a massive one for anyone, adults especially. Like we socially acceptable to get pissed on a weekend and fucking cause. When there's anyone,
it's changing now. It's changing. Lots of people have their zero drinks now. It's normal.
Correct. Once again, but for 6 months, how many people do that?
Yeah,
not many. So if you was to do a daily discipline of gratitude, affirmations, cold shower, exercise regularly, and eat better food, better quality of food in 6 months' time, and start writing into what you want to achieve in 6 months. Write a list of what you want to achieve in 6 months. Yeah, do them 5 things, 6 things. Sorry, without the drinking drugs. Yeah, you watch how far your life will change.
Yeah,
in 6 months.
Yeah, it's so simple.
It is so simple, but it's very difficult at the same time. Because we're not programmed.
And people have to want to do it.
Yeah, correct. What do you want to achieve? I could say to 21, in 6 months, what do you want to achieve? I don't care how wild it is. Because if you do this stuff and you program yourself and you're writing it down on a daily basis and then you're applying action to it, that will become a reality. You have to look at it like you've already achieved it.
You do,
and you change your mindset, your mentality and your internal frequency, and the universe will deliver that.
Yeah.
I'm living proof of that.
And people have to be ready for that, because it takes a bit of reflection to get to that point where they're able to think, do you know what, I am actually going to sit down and write.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just goes over the head.
That's right. Yeah. You can visualize things. You can visualize things as well if you're struggling to write. Visualize them in your head, but apply action.
Yeah.
Apply action to it. Don't just sitting. You laying down. I visualize that. And then it's going to be delivered to you by a fucking nice shiny postage. There you go.
Intention, attention, action.
Correct. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Like that. So it's a good way of putting it.
Know your distractions is the other one, and then you can concentrate the other three.
If you can monitor your distractions, keep them to.
If you know what they are,
yes, keep them to a minimum.
Manage them. So, go on.
If you can go out and you can enjoy yourself like that, I just want to say about. And you can have 1 or 2. That's not a distraction for you. That's a social benefit for you. Or maybe you get work out of that, something like that, by all means. But if you're like myself, or you have that means where you start at 1 or 2 and it don't finish there and 2-3 days later, or fucking world destruction for yourself, and you wake up riddled with guilt, fucking stop. Yeah, stop a lot of it. It ain't as easy as just stop, because it ain't as easy as that. But fucking come to fighting through.
Yeah, it's like knowing yourself, isn't it? Like, just know, like, you know how you are, so you know you're all or nothing, and so therefore you need to be nothing.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? For you to, whereas other people, you just know how everyone's different.
Well, you
have to know yourself.
Give up one thing to have everything, or give up everything to have one thing. Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, I can't. If I have that one thing, then I lose everything. But if I give up that one thing, the one thing that's devastating my fucking life, I can have everything. And my everything is building a healthy community that love each other, look after each other, who are fit and strong. That's where we're getting to now.
So obviously we're getting on for time. So is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we've not covered? A story or anything, or you feel
there's a lot of them. My brother's name and memory will live on forever because of what we built here, and that's powerful.
That's beautiful.
That's a drive. My son will get a dad. My wife will get a husband, and she saved my life. And she said, "I don't mention her name." Anna Albany saved my life. So did the Southend Hospital medic team was there, worked round the clock with me.
That's beautiful, man.
If you see this and you are in one of them places where I've been, or in your own aspect, reach out, because there is help available. There is. It starts with you and it ends with you. Ultimately, party's over. That's what I had to tell myself, and come and fight through.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should we finish it there?
I think we should,
yeah.
We're going to end up rattling all day, man.
That's beautiful, man. You've done well.
Thank you, brother.
Great.
Yeah, I held it back a lot. I think I got a lot of the emotion out this morning, to be honest. But yeah,
fantastic. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll be videoing with Rich next week, and stay tuned for that one. So it's amazing.
Cool. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, my man.
Well done. I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to watch the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did being there with Jordan, filming the whole thing. It was an incredible experience. He's got some amazing stories. Took a lot from that, and I hope that you guys did too. There's a lot more great guests coming. Next episode, we're going to be having Rich, also from Fighting Through 28. Rich has also got some incredible stories, so it's going to be fascinating to sit down with him at the weekend and do that. So please be sure to follow along, like the video if you liked it, maybe share it too. If you want to subscribe or follow, that would be great. And there'll be a lot more guests coming up very soon. So really appreciate you, Jordan, and everyone take care of yourselves.